Well, at least TikTok. At least TikTok, you guys are all here. How do we fix this? Oh, are we live now? Because now it says we're live. What? This is going to be the most awkward intro ever, but I think, yeah, we're live. We're good. Let's start all the way over again. Holy cow. If you're watching on TikTok, sorry about this, but you're going to hear it again. It's because it's scripted. I'm just going to start from the top. Man, this sucks. If you're watching as a recording, I already went into a lot of this. I told everybody where the winning tickets were, everything. The video intro is supposed to have like a hook to get everybody excited. That's like a big thing for YouTube, and it just ruins it when they piss it away with stupid bugs like that. Anyway, we've been live for a little bit. We're gonna start it again. What happened with Google and Tesla? If you guys saw my other YouTube channel, Don Franz Show, I did an earnings reaction. But the price was still moving around, and we got quite a bit more after the earnings calls. For instance, Google was up. It is now red, but ultimately Google did drop down, hit that zone, found some buyers, ultimately still looking like a higher low. The cool thing about this is, I hate that I'm repeating myself, but all hands on deck. Anybody in Google that has their finger on the trigger that's going to take a play, right? Now, there's investors that are just kind of looking at it. They're probably not going to do anything. But anybody that's going to affect the absolute price action right now, they are watching earnings. So all hands on deck. They make the announcement. We bounce around a little bit. Ultimately, a little bit more sellers than buyers because we end with a red candle. The announcement was a reported $1.89 earnings per share, estimated $1.84, and then the reported revenue, $84.74 billion, with an estimate of $84.2. So, barely skating by. I know a lot thought the earnings call was impressive. I even heard a lot of comments about that. Apparently it wasn't. Not everyone thought that. Again, guys, when it comes to earnings, there's an announcement, and it's going to go up or go down, right? It's just a binary event. Ultimately, everyone's reaction, a little bit of back and forth, play the game of tug of war, and Red Rover sent a few more sellers on over. Right now, I am still bullish this. If there was anything really concerning in there, I think we really could have sold this thing off. So the fact that it's holding, for me, right now, we're good. What would be concerning is if we actually break the low of this. The low dropped down into that type 1 of this zone right here, right at the top of that zone. If you had a limit buy order right there, congrats to you, because you're up. You're up a good amount. So if it breaks that, I would be concerned. Now, if it breaks that, we're going to be smack dab in the middle of a zone. So are there still any buyers right here at the type 2? And that's what we'll have to worry about there. I would expect... Man, if we break this, I don't know if we might get a hiccup right here. If we do break today's low, I do think we sell off and probably get to that next zone below, around that 165 area. So for now, still very much bullish myself. Dylan, I appreciate that. He says, killer thumbnail. If you guys noticed, the Google bear, or the bear is wearing Google goggles, obviously it's bullish. Tesla. Now, at the time, Tesla was still up here. This is why I don't like doing earnings announcements live, because you're talking about price action that's almost irrelevant. Because and I even said in that video, I have to disclaimer, there's a lot of time before the market opens tomorrow. Now, right before the stream, I even did just alert my chat. I did buy Tesla, actually, right as we were just underneath this zone. So I'm actually already up on my shares. But it did drop and hold this zone. Let's give the heads and tails, because essentially when you're looking at the stock market like this, red and green candles, right? The only two colors. And then there's the heads and tails. And depending on your echo chamber and where you sit at, you might only hear one side. The bullish side of this is we're still rocking and rolling. Technically, that's still a very big bull flag. Bull flags make lower lows and lower highs. Yeah, super bullish. Super bullish and a channel down. Doesn't that always sound weird? I don't really like bull flags. Bull pennants, where we have like the higher lows and lower highs. Love that. And I love a rally-based rally. I just don't like the lower low aspect. But right now, again, all hands on deck. And we drop down to this lower zone. Told you guys earlier, I would just be too tempted not to buy shares in this zone. Rain or shine event. It drops to 215. I'm going to buy a lot. Enough to probably hold Tesla up itself. So I did grab some more shares. And just to be clear, there is still a lot of time for the market opens tomorrow. If this does drop to 215, I will buy more at that price again. So right now, wouldn't mind it bouncing right here, but I told you guys after this bullish move up, I am buying a lot. So I'm going to get pretty aggressive on these dips. I did not buy any of the growth account just yet. That might be tomorrow, though. So as far as Tesla goes, yeah, I wouldn't mind catching the knife right now. Tesla earnings call sounded bad, no energy, and ridiculous questions. If you've ever heard Elon talk, that's a lot of that. It's BS and banter in a podcast, or it's very like get it out. Like I'm not talking about him stumbling, but it's like just get the question out. Let's stay on focus. Like it's like everyone's trying to just steer it a different direction. But I can't tell what is on my. Hang on, there's something right. If you, never mind. There's a reflection. I'm looking at TikTok, and there's something right here on my charts. Sorry, guys, I'm never going to say that again. I was like, what is on my charts? Buying a lot of calls or stock? Well, Lisa, the stock market for me actually closes at 3 o'clock. And then when I sent that alert in the chat, added some more Tesla shares here, it was 6:18. We're actually 3 hours and 18 minutes after the market closed, which does mean I bought shares. So as far as the options that I have, again, I sold the 275 calls against my shares. I sold the 210 puts. Now, aside from my buy right here and right here, I will still take assignment on the 210 puts that I sold. Right now, just buying a lot of shares. I'm going to accumulate shares. I will sell calls against them. But for now, I don't want to entertain any call options. The thing with call options right now is you're going to have to give yourself an expiration date. And if we decide to go sideways and chop around, if Tesla pulls this crap again, that is the death of your calls and puts right there. People like me were excited because we were accumulating shares. And then we got this run up. If you bought calls, but your expiration, let's say you bought calls back here in March. Your expiration was June. 100% worthless, and you were right. You're just a little bit off. So I don't want to do that. And then do I want to give it to December of next year? That would be the only thing I entertain. But I also think the Q1 of next year is going to get pretty rough. I think after we get a new president, things are going to suck a bit. My Google calls are cooked. They probably are. And if you bought calls or puts on either one of these, they're all going to be down tomorrow. None of these moved enough to actually, like we were pricing in these dashed lines right here were the expected move. So we didn't exceed it. We didn't do jack. Whoever bought calls, whoever bought puts, you're all losers. Sucks to suck. No, I'm kidding. But that's why I did sell options, just due to the IV crush. I did not do anything with Google because Google can surprise. And I would be lying if I told you I didn't make any money just going long Google calls for earnings, and it absolutely sends it. So I didn't want to jack around with Google. I was bullish Google. So whatever play I took, if it was a directional options play, would have been down. Tesla, the second I come out and say with 100% confidence, it's going to go nuts. But I had zero issues selling the Tesla calls and puts. Let's see. I thought you were talking about loading up on more, not what you already bought. Yeah, Lisa, it'll still be shares. It's slow in January after the president election. I'm actually not worried about it being slow. I'm fine with that. I think right now, with the election going on, think of like a circus. There's just someone spinning plates on top of the tall sticks. I just think right now the stock market crashing is not a plate they want to spin. So they're just taking that off the table right now. Once we get this whole situation settled, I think they bring it right back in. And we probably do see something like a correction in the market. Okay, now there was a ticker they asked me on TikTok to break down, and I need to scroll up on chat. If you're still here, bullish means buy. Bullish means I think it's going up. Bearish means buy. Bullish means buy. I don't know if you're asking. Bearish means you think it's probably headed down. Bullish means you think it's headed up. Just because, bears, when they attack, they slap down. Bulls, when they attack, they lift up with their horns. That's where it got it from. Man, let me find that ticker, because this is what I call it. It's MEDP. I don't know why I haven't broken this one down before. Tesla has a gap at 210, right? Full send. Send it. Let's check it real quick, and then we're gonna break down MEDP. Let's go to the daily chart real fast. 210. Yeah. So we got a gap. Yep. 209.98. Gapped up to 226.70. And YouTube, you know what's about to happen. We got a gap filler on TikTok. On the TikTok. Now, if we're gonna fill all gaps like they say, we're in a lot of trouble, because there's another gap down here at 144. There is another gap down here at 113. And holy crap, it gets worse. There's another gap down here at 76. There's another one at 43. Who's buying at 43? But more importantly, who is buying at 1736? I probably am not, because it means they're going bankrupt. Also, just kidding. Just kidding. As far as gap fills go, that's a legitimate thing. It is a play I would look for. Right now, there's just a lack. There's no buyers or sellers in that, so kind of creates that gray area. And right now, when you do start to break these supports, that's the next just level or area of attention. That's where a lot of people think things are going. And so it's kind of a I don't want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, but that's how a lot of those pan out. Tesla down to 102, $17. I don't know if you're paying attention. Okay, so let's do MEDP. This is a bonus ticker for you guys. Now, if you've been in my mentorship for a long time, then you remember just how amazing this particular ticker was with this pattern. We call this the Photoshop pattern. So to paint this picture, to make it easier, someone just gave me a Taylor Swift heart, I think. I don't know, some hands went up and made a heart on the screen. Now, don't go photoshopping candles out of your charts. That's not how things are done. But imagine you could, for instance. Actually, you know what? Let's take the bars pattern. Take the bars pattern. We're gonna go from here to here. Now let's pretend this green candle and that red candle didn't exist. See how we just line up? See how the trend just stays the same on this? So to paint that picture, what I say is, imagine I get hired at Goldman Sachs. This gets called out on my TikTok, and I'm like, man, I kind of like this ticker. I'm going to buy it. So I'm sitting at my desk. We got another right here. Same thing. Just to call it out for you guys. Right there. They just kind of fill each other in, and the overall trend just stays the same. So I'm at Goldman Sachs, and I say, hey, go ahead and give me 10 million shares. Just send it. I'm not using the algos to enter. Just your parameters are, it better be filled by the time I go to lunch. That looks like it was an earnings play, but it just sent it, right? Now, everyone's just buying, gobbling it up like little pigeons just eating their bird seed. They're just picking up little shares here and there and there and there. Here I come. Anyway, here I was thinking of a different animal. Here I come. Buy a bunch of shares. Okay, now we're back to the pigeons picking up all the little seed on the ground. And then I say, okay, cool trade. It's time for my quarterly, like performance review. So I need to lock this profit in. So go ahead and sell. So I bought my 10 million shares. I sell my 10 million shares. And then the birds go back to picking up their little seed on the ground. It's just that's to me what a lot of this looks like is the same buyer that got in is the same buyer that got out. The rest of the buyers, they continue on as such. When we do zoom out on this ticker, how nervous are you to buy something with a history like this? Here's the Rona crash. If you're on TikTok, you're going to have to zoom in, put your phone closer to your face. That little blip was an absolute pandemonium. Stock market halts all day, every day. Crash into oblivion, the biggest one we've ever seen. Fastest. And then it's just kind of nothing. Like, all right, whatever. That pandemic was probably more like just greasing up the markets with some WD-40. Like, let's get this thing going. And now everything's just working fine. But let's zone this out. Anyway, I do like that ticker, and I like that pattern because what I like is just the continuation. I like the continuation play. I like these buyers down here. I like that they're still, hopefully still here, so that's what I'm looking for. If we go to the daily, we did get a gap down. We're kind of right here, so we know there's going to be a zone right in here. While we're on the daily chart, though, I do want to highlight right here. That's one thing I would be paying attention to. Let's get extended hours back on. All right, so we're zoned out right there. I think this would be my bottom zone right here. Yeah, we find some sellers. We jack around, gap and go. We bounce. Holding. I think this actually would be a decent one. I think I would go long. I would catch the knife. I would put my stop at, I'd have to go 352.45. This is going to, I'm going to be right or wrong in the next day, if not couple hours. That's why I like these trades, because there's not a lot of emotional attachment. There's no history. It's nothing. It's like speed dating, and the girl says, nah. Or like gives you a fake number. You think things look good, and you try to text your caller later, and it's someone else. You know, Richard answers the phone. You're like, wait a minute. She said her name was Sarah. Anyway, you move on. I don't know. Someone's sending me corn and hot peppers. Shout out to you. Who's doing that? I'm new on TikTok, so I don't know. But anyway, so this got called out on TikTok, and I want to say I do like this ticker. If it does reverse right here, you're gonna have a hard time getting over that right there. We'll play this sideways game. Man, if you're an option seller, how liquid is this in the options? Of course, TOS isn't gonna work. We're almost there. Now, if it could just stay there, that would be phenomenal. So when I hold my shout out to TOS. There's nothing like what you guys think you're seeing is TOS. The second I move my mouse, this is just a preview. It goes away. Anyway, oh god, take me back. All right, if we I'm going to check out the options chain on that, because if that is liquid, that might be a decent one to even. I doubt a lot of you are going to just jump in and start buying hundreds of shares, but if you have the capital, that might not be a bad one, especially maybe even selling at the money puts right here. If it has monthlies, I don't think I would do it. TSLZ, is that the bear? So if you were a bearish Tesla, you could have. I didn't even think about this. Shoot, who called this out? Al, why didn't you call this out in my chat? Because now I'm a little bit annoyed. I actually looked at buying a put on Tesla probably 152 times. Now, no one's counting, but give or take a couple hundred times. I kept looking at the options channel. I was like, maybe I'll just go short, because I do have a lot of shares, guys. I have a lot of shares. I have a sold call. I even have a sold put. You know, like I have everything but just, you know, just buying a put, a hedge for this. Technically, selling a call is a hedge, but anyway, they were just too much. It's like, it's not going to move that much. You know, if I buy something even close, it was $7. I need to move $7 a share just to even do anything, and it just wasn't. I didn't think the move was there. But this actually would have been a great ticker, because as Tesla sells off, this will go up, but there's not any of that theta. Not Theta Crush. Well, there's Theta. Vega Crush. TSLQ. Yeah, I 100% would have bought some of these shares as a hedge against mine. And it's just no surprise that Tesla's selling off right now on earnings. The surprise would be it's down to like 190. That would be a surprise sell-off. After the massive run and just a lackluster, no surprise earnings, selling off, some profit taking, yeah, it's no big deal at all. Shout out to Lisa again. Even after all my sarcasm, she did look up the MEDP. So only monthly options and no open interest. So if you did want to maybe buy 100 shares, you could sell a put on there, but it will be between you and the market maker. There will not be the in and out game on that one. All right, Nvidia. Look at Nvidia go. Remember that one time we sold the 126, and by we, I mean I did. And if you agreed with the play, then you probably made more money than me, because I didn't have signal. Anyway, that call will be good. If it's up 80% tomorrow, I will we sold that call, right? So we want Nvidia to go down. If it's up, I'd say 70, 75% or higher, I'll buy back to close it. Hopefully we get a bounce out of there, and then maybe I might even sell another one. TSLS or this ticker. I don't know if it would even matter. Is TSLS another bear? Oh, that's a bear ETF. So this is a 1-to-1, where the other ones were a 2x. Now, if you're going to hold on to it, hands down, without a doubt, I would consider playing in traffic blindfolded with Bose headphones on. Just kidding. So when you go to the 2x ETFs, those will decay. So just think about it this way. If it drops down 50%, anything, right? You lose 50%, you need 100% just to get back to break even. So if you plan on holding it for any amount of time, the 1x, just the actual inverse, will be the better play. But I'll bring this up again. So here's TQQQ. Let's just get out here on the daily. Right, so just look at these humps. This is the Nasdaq. Now this is a 2x ETF. So here's the Nasdaq at all-time highs, right? And then it sells off, and the Nasdaq is back up. But you might notice that TQQQ just got back to break even. But if you actually look at the Nasdaq, we're way above all-time highs. But because of that just decaying away, because of that, the up and down factor just eating itself alive, TQQQ definitely struggling. But, same thing with Tesla. If you go from the bottom of, let's go the absolute bottom, because you found that super TikToker on Facebook or something, the guy sitting on the hood of an orange Lamborghini, and he called it out. Bottom penny every time, because that's how they roll. And you go to the absolute top because he told you to sell at the top, and he top ticked it. He did a perfect play. You are up 97.75%. Now take that same play and go to TQQQ, because you're not a bag holder. In fact, you are just a trader in general, and you take advantage for the design of this is to trade, and you top tick both of those, bottom and top tick. You're up 420%. So when you get your timing right, if you're going to trade it, go the leveraged route. That comes with the pluses and minuses, obviously. If you're going to hold it, or you don't want that to happen to you, then yeah, I would just go to the single. So the one thing I have is that's already in a recorded video. So if you're on YouTube and you want to hear that again, click the link in the chat. That is the video where I do explain that. I'm going to start answering a lot of questions. I haven't said this in a while. I'm answering a lot of questions in video format, and they're going in a playlist, a very specific playlist of just questions that are asked a billion times. So that the people that are here don't have to hear it 600,000 more times. Eventually you will hear me just say, I have a clip for that. Cody, my admin's going to toss it in the chat. Click, if you're watching as a recording, then click live chat. Click the live chat replay, and you'll see it. You'll see it right there, and just click on it. All right. Someone sent me an ice cream cone. Appreciate that. Is it vegan? Just kidding. I just want to see see what you had to say. All right, let's break down some markets. As far as the dollar goes, still short the dollar. I actually did add on to the U.S. dollar Japanese yen today. I think it's up pennies on the last one. We got a little bit of a gap up. I need this to absolutely melt down. Set fire to this thing. I don't care who. You know who I'm voting for? Whoever sends the dollar down. Just light this thing on fire. All right, so as far as the U.S. dollar Japanese yen, there are a couple of you in the group that have now funded your Owanda account, and you're doing this. You're doing big things now. I actually might not be down anymore. I think I had added right close to the end of this candle right here, so it was up. Looks like I'm right about break even, maybe just now down. So total right now, all I have is 6 lots on this. And I'm really hoping for it to melt down. This is just hopefully the beginning. But we do have to say this is a giant monthly zone, and we're hanging out here. I really want that floor to break. I do think there will be a pop, and I've even debated on trimming some and then adding them back on, skipping a couple green candles, maybe getting cute with it. I haven't yet. If we were to actually like really break down, maybe get to this level down here, just that support, I think I probably would. Let's just make that blue. At that point, I think we'll be a little oversold. Get an oversold bounce. I'll lock a couple of them in, pop it back up, get back in. Cody right now, who just did this, is up 45 pips. Might not sound much to anybody that doesn't trade Forex, but there are full gurus out there that brag about making 30 pips a week, which is adorable because my stop loss is usually like 30 pips away, and I'm a couple of these right now are up 300 pips. So sweet. Casey says 600,001 times is pretty cool, though. It is, but even I get tired of repeating myself. If you guys met me in real life, you guys, I don't know, you guys might not like me. I do not like repeating myself. Like, I say it once. I might say something again if you didn't hear me. That third time, there's a look on my face that I can't make go away, but it's usually something violent. You're going to see it on my face. I'm not happy. It's like a thing. I have a problem with it. Patience of a saint. If you're just not clicking, I can deal with that. But repeating myself, there is a difference. Whew. Never traded Forex. Is it worth it? Oh my gosh. Is it worth it compared to equities, options? It's a completely different animal. So there's no such thing as like PDT. It's 50-to-1 leverage. When I say it's a different animal, it's tough to explain because you might think red and green candles all look the same. Very different. This is where banks go to manipulate other banks. If you're a bag holder, don't worry. You won't have an account long with Forex. It'll be a fast lesson for you to learn. If you have your habits under control and you kind of have a system, this is the one thing I would say paper trade at first. Just kind of get a feel for its movements or start with something cheap. I got a buddy that has a $20 account. He trades it. Start with that. Technician said, yeah, he's really mean. Just playing I didn't make him repeat himself due to not wanting to cry that night. Talking about in Florida? I didn't have to repeat myself. That was great. All right, Bitcoin. It did reject out of this zone. So right now we got to look for a higher low and get back into that zone, to which you would probably look for a breakout up. Or if this is going to be a full-blown rejection, we're talking about the 62,000 again. Forex is how Don started. He loves some Awanda. I do, except for when I tell somebody to download Awanda or what's your brokerage, and I say Awanda, and my phone autocorrects it to Panda. You guys have no idea how many times I've almost told people I trade on Panda because I just got tired of repeating myself. I don't like deleting it and doing it again. I've also never said anything about a stupid duck. Oh, autocorrect really annoys me sometimes. This better be because of the contract change. There's no way futures gap down that much. Is this a contract rollover? That has to be. That's a decent gap for that. So Forex and, I guess not Forex, futures, it likes to take a little nap. So they say it's open 24/7. It's actually closed on Saturday, Friday night, and Sunday morning. Takes a little nap, and then it wakes up. It's the only time it actually closes. It closes for an hour, take a little breather, get their accounting done, and then it's back up. So a gap like that on, let's just check ES. Not as bad. So I actually bought the dip at the end of the day. Because we sold off into the bell, and I thought, man, let's buy the dip on that. So I actually am long SPY calls for this Friday, the 554. So I just went right at the money. Somebody asked me in the chat, Cody, actually my admin, right before the bell. So I'm just like, I'm firing away. If it shoots up, I'm probably grabbing puts. If it shoots down, I'm grabbing calls. It's just a little quick. I probably sell it the next morning at the bell. But that is a pretty decent sell-off when it comes to the futures contracts. So gapped into that zone, and looks like we, as of right now, if we break that wick, I got to say, we're probably looking at this next yellow zone. That's not a good sign. As far as expected moves, nothing we don't have priced in all the way. I don't think we have any fireworks tomorrow either. Let me hit some buttons. Tomorrow we have PMI. Yeah, it's pre-market. It's probably not gonna do anything. Anyway, just kidding. That's why I put the giant bear in the thumbnail, because I obviously knew all this was gonna happen. True story though, not the best look. If you're bullish, you better hope this yellow zone holds. So we gapped into that. Looks like we have about 4 buyers, which is about right. On futures contracts overnight, there's probably 3 or 4 people total trading it. It's very low volume. So we'll have to see in the morning where we're holding. As of right now, I think it's worth a knife catch. It's worth entertaining, I'll put it that way. I'd put some risk out there. We're not sky is falling, fear-blown panic mode. But it would have been nice if it just held the little sell-off we had earlier. The sky is falling. It's all good. We're just waiting on a call from March. I changed my number. I'm going to run. Make sure you subscribe to my other channel, Dan Fran Trading. Don Fran's going to disappear into the night. All right, QQQ. Still plenty of room. Did we rotate? So it looks like that's the one. We talked about this being bullish anyway, just as the bull flag. Looks like that one continued, and we just called it a day. Jordan says, SPY? Yeah, we just broke that one down. SPY and the NASDAQ both have that same look. Those glasses disappeared as fast as Dan. I'll bring Dan on right now. I got the glasses here. I can be Dan in 2 seconds. TikTok has no idea who you're talking about, but would you sell to open Tesla puts at the open? If I wasn't already in the 210 Tesla put, yes, I would. I'm buying Tesla at 210, full stop. I don't care how fast and hard the sky does fall. If it's not the meteorite that took out the dinosaurs, I'm buying it. Big Man says, I guess IWM tomorrow? As far as playing the trend, yeah. You're gonna play the trend on that one. So when you're playing the trend, are you gonna just stick with something like this and keep the higher lows? Keep the higher lows going. Do you want to play the hourly trend and maybe have your stop right below here? Yeah. I have the 220 puts getting nervous on Tesla. You know. We got a green candle. What are you nervous about? You think I draw these zones for nothing? The second I get cocky like that, though, like it'll be at 170 tomorrow. Sorry about that. All right, let's check out HIMS. I forgot to buy HIMS. Did I not want to buy that? Are you? Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Everyone in my chat is fired. I told whoever I told last night to remind me to make sure I'm in HIMS, you are fired. Because I told you guys last night, we broke it down. I did like it. Liked it out of bounce out of this zone. Gonna go long. It was Cody or Technician. Yeah. We're going to go over that in your performance review. Don't think I'm forgetting that. It's either that or I send you an invoice right now. Well, that sucks. So if you were watching last night and thought, let's rock and roll, you're up. Honestly, if I was in HIMS, we kind of have this little drop-base drop. And it's not a real drop-base drop when you look at it. And I say that because that's actually just during extended hours. Just the attention was gone. But when you look it over, there is quite a bit of attention at this level. So we've been here before quite a few times. HIMS, if it pulls back to that level, bull flag, I'm thinking dip buy. If it breaks that, I'm out. If I bought this morning like I should have, if my chat actually cared about me, my stop would be 21.85 right now. Let's see. Even TikTok said 170 Tesla. Tell me you're in a lot of shares without telling me you're in a lot of shares. That was just a sarcastic joke as far as Tesla hitting 170. Because I'm buying it at 210. Oh my gosh. Let's just cover that now, I guess. So I will buy. I already bought some right here at the bottom of this zone. And there is a buy right here. Full stop. Now, I will get quite a bit more, but I'll have enough. I'm not buying at this zone, and I'm not buying at this zone right here. What I will pay attention to is this kind of bottom trend we have going on right here. This is a trend we've had for some time now. Now, because I already have enough, what I don't like doing is riding 1,000 shares up and 10,000 shares down. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. That's the fastest way to not be here next year. And I wouldn't make a very good Walmart greeter, right? I don't know what I would qualify for as a job, but it wouldn't be a Walmart person. And I'm definitely not flipping burgers because I already have a problem with my weight, and it would just get worse if I was around cheeseburgers all day. So anyway, I'm not going to add on. I'm not going to add on till a reversal. So it could come to this zone. It could bounce. It could bounce off like a trampoline. This thing could springboard right off this zone. Don't care. I'm going to wait for an actual reversal, and then I'll buy it, which means it jumps up. If it hits this bright yellow zone, gets back above this, hits this one from the top, makes a higher low, then I would add on. Unless we are down here by this trend line, then in that case, I am going to chunk in some more. Should bring my averages down quite a bit. But that would be the only way. So I would add on right here. And if we are down here, I don't need to make 10 million YouTube videos to tell you I'm still red, right? This thing's still south. My last buy was 210. Unless I saw some market manipulation or an absolute reason why I think I need to be in this again, I won't get aggressive with it. HIMS would have been good. Is it liquid in options? I want to say it was. That's embarrassing. Google we already did. I think Google's. I still think Google's a dip buy. I think maybe now I would just consider selling some. This is $1 increments, right? They're not in the 250s yet. Or Google is 172.50s. I would sell some puts in this zone and hang tight. The fact that the Nasdaq is selling off like that. If that continues, you're going to see things like Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, Google, Meta, Tesla. They're going to take a breather with it. So for now, dip buy with an emphasis on capital allocation. If I'm not in it, I'm buying it. If I'm in it already, I got to question how much do I have out there? How much do I have in the tech sector in general? And just how emotional am I going to be when this thing gets wrecked? Cody says those spy calls are going to be cooked. If a miracle doesn't happen, yeah, those spy calls are going to be gone tomorrow. Appreciate you reminding me to buy that. IWM we did go over. Dare I ask Tesla? We've gone over that quite a bit. Meta, any strategy thoughts? Got quite a few. So Meta's down because of Google. As far as my thoughts go now, so it's down because of Google, same sector, same. They move hand in hand. Ad revenue. They're both in the ad revenue space, both cash cows, and they announce a lot of the same stuff, which is why they do that. The thing is with this though, is it now creates another situation where Meta now has the chance to come out and say, we're not Google. Now, if they come out and say, you basically heard what Google had to say, we're in the same boat, the red probably isn't going to be as much. If this is all the red, if they come out and say similar stuff as Google, that's probably already priced in. So it's nothing I would want to go terribly short on. But it does give them the ability to surprise and say, yeah, Google sucks, but we don't, and we killed it. Maybe they were sandbagging the last quarter. Estimates just weren't there, and then it surprised to the upside. So when I see a move like this, the only thing I think is that surprise going to be worth it, and do I want to go long Meta for earnings? For right now, it would just be a zone play. My stop it would have to be 475.45. But you are buying that in the midst of a fairly picture-perfect bear flag. Meta, fingers crossed. They get to gloat. Meta's my number one position, so I think if you cross more than one fingers, it's bad luck. Someone told me that in daycare a long time ago. I just need to know which one's good luck, so I can do that one. Crowd's hanging out. Little bit of a bounce on crowd today. So right now, if I'm in this and I'm just down this much, maybe my stop was up here, and here we are. Surprise. Appreciate that. Didn't know the whole world revolved around this one ticker. What I would do is let the dust settle. So the bleeding might have stopped. I for sure have a stop right here now. That thing breaks that. I'm not riding this again. No. I saw how much fun it was the first time. I'm not going down a whole nother level. Now that the selling stopped, now I stop. I'm going to hang out and take a second, take a breather with this ticker. If it turns around, good. I'm going to start trailing this thing up. If it bases out, I'm going to base out. I'm going to hang out. You're not getting me again unless it breaks. Just anxiety-wise, when a stock takes a break like that, so do I. So I don't make any just rash decisions, especially when you are, you have a stop and it just blasts right past it. For whatever reason, sometimes it just sucks. That is the name of the game. It's just not often it happens, but when it does, man, it is hard not to take it personal sometimes. But I don't like making emotional decisions, so I hang out and I wait until it starts moving again. When it moves in the direction, then that's kind of where I'm going. Still in for now. I wouldn't have made a move off today's price action. I wouldn't have closed it. Breaking down, I probably would have considered closing it. And right now, after today's pop. So the importance of selling it now after today's pop is how many times you want the buyers to show up. I can understand this one. A little dead cat bounce. The news is settled. It's not new news anymore. Like, everybody knows what's going on with CrowdStrike now. So there's no surprises. If that's all the buyers they can muster up, then I'm going to leave that crowd. I think you'd be a phenomenal greeter. No theft is getting past you unless bribery is at play. It would really depend on my mood that day. Do you have a way of estimating IV crush? I can only estimate where an options contract might open, but I don't know how much IV crush will be. I don't know if there's calculators for it. I've done just kind of a half, keeping it PC, way of doing it where you can look at an options chain and just see every expiration just goes up $1.50, $1.50, $1.50, and then you'll see earnings $4.50. Then I would just take about $3 off of that. Don greeting with the resting B face. Yeah. I make sure they don't steal when they enter. Just know that alarm goes off, I'm going to beat you down. Double check your stickers, bud. Anyway, have a nice day. All right, PCAR. Pacar. That sounds like a bird noise. What, technician? You just mad not all the tickers you're in went down, so you thought, I'm going to buy this next one. That looks like an absolute freak out. So the one we broke down earlier, MDEP, that track record was still probably putting in a higher low. This looks like an absolute reversal. This looks like market manipulation because somebody wanted to go short. So this is like the essence of a stop hunt, just fake it, like a fake out. Hey, we're bullish, gotcha. Give me all those shares short. Melted this thing down. Pretty strong zone right here though. Breaking below this. Oh yeah, we had this strong zone back here. No one else can see that right there. You really can't ignore the rally-based rallies. I think most people do, and that's why they can't ever find these zones. All right, so there's that. There is a speed bump zone right inside. I'll chart it out real quick for you guys. Right there. Man, we blasted through that. This is one I think I would shy away from for now. Earnings were red. Let the dust settle. If it never actually breaks down here, so be entertain that thought. But it would have to hang out here in the middle for some time. Maybe bounce out of this zone, but never actually break it. They manufactured Kenworth and Peterbilt trucks. I'm very curious what happens to the trucking industry when the Tesla semi-trucks. Not just the Tesla semi-trucks. Let's think a few years in the future where they have the convoy mode activated, where the trucks can follow each other, 12, 18 inches from each other. There's one driver up front. The rest are just following behind on the road, like a train on the highway. What happens to the trucking industry with that? But right now, that's one I would steer clear from. If the account doesn't have cash, can we still buy to cover a covered call? No. My guess is you can, but does that get added back to the margin balance? Oh, if you have the buying power, you can. Yes. If you just flat out don't, then no. So, yeah. When you have the margin account and you click the buy button, it goes to cash first and then margin. And then that's that. I've seen that in Robinhood under margin maintenance, it says minimum portfolio value minus any crypto positions. When we purchased Beto, I received the crypto warning sign. So I'm guessing that it's crypto-based and counts crypto futures product. They don't want you to think it's a regular ETF. I saw that warning too. It's just a warning telling you it's an ETF based off of futures. Now, the one thing I don't know is, does that come with any tax benefits like a futures contract would? I don't think it does, but maybe they're just being extra cautious. Like, hey, just so you know, we know you didn't look into this. We know you're probably stupid. This is Bitcoin futures, not a regular Bitcoin ETF that everyone keeps talking about, like maybe Ethereum once came out. So they just want a bright yellow warning out there that says Bitcoin futures, not Bitcoin. That's all it is. The fund does not invest directly into crypto, and its performance may differ significantly from the performance. Yeah. This fund entails significant risk, including the possible loss of your investment. Can you imagine, technician? I know you see that and maybe you're freaking out. Can you imagine if they didn't have that disclaimer? This fund doesn't entail risk, is what someone's going to read, including you'll probably just triple your money. And if you lose your investment, it's clearly Robinhood's fault and not your own. That's just legal jargon for you're an idiot. It's not our fault for whatever reason. But yeah, I saw the warning. That's all. There's nothing to worry about at all. I did not cover Palantir. I am about to. Cody says he's completely homeless. For the time being, like I said, Cody, being homeless isn't bad. The trick is you take your cardboard box, you borrow the clear packing tape, and you line it. You line the outside with packing tape. It's water resistant. Now, water just rolls right off. It's better than an umbrella. It's insulated, keeps you nice and warm in the winter because your body heat doesn't get out. It's not that bad. You gotta be. It's bougie homeless, is what it is. Okay. Just get on that level. U.S. dollar, Japanese yen will change that. Yeah, now with the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, we're going to up it a little bit. Instead of the clear packing tape, Walmart's got a whole selection of duct tape. Leopard print, chrome, pink, all of it. You can express yourself. You can have a really cool homeless shelter box. Nvidia is falling after hours. You don't say. How excited were you guys when I pulled up Nvidia and you saw this? You're like, that's great. This is great news. And then we bring on extended hours. Like, the sky is falling. As long as it holds this zone, good. If I wasn't in Nvidia at all, I would buy this zone right now. But like I said earlier, we sold the 126 calls against our shares. So if that's up 70, 75% or higher tomorrow, I am going to buy that back to close it. What's your outlook for the rest of the week? So take this with a grain of salt. Very much a grain of salt. Like the kind you attract deer with. That salt block. Okay? I think it's a buy the dip. That gap down on futures, maybe we're just playing catch up to Tesla and Google moving the market a little bit. They do carry significant weight. Right now, there's a red candle and a gap down candle in the futures. Now, those aren't good signs. They're not. It's not a bullet wound, right? We're one level up. It's like instead of a paper cut, it's a cardboard paper cut. A little bit more painful. It's annoying, but it's something to just maybe pay attention to. We're not in full blown panic mode yet. So as far as the rest of the week goes, right now, cautiously bullish. I'm bullish. If I wasn't in anything at all, I would buy stuff. So I guess the question would be, how much do you already have, and do you even want to add? Maybe if you already have enough, sit tight. What if you don't buy anything for a day? So be it. This market's not going anywhere. Just an ear graze? Exactly. More like being hit in the face with a cardboard bat. Well, my cardboard paper cuts are pretty thick. All right. If Palantir is at 40 at the time or before our call expiration, would you consider exercising it? I probably won't exercise it. I'll probably just close it because we'll have the premium. It'll just be amazing. Because just think of the price action. Now, it would be cool, yeah. If we exercise it, we'll own the shares at 28. For everyone watching on TikTok, this is a call I made a little bit ago. We bought November 15th, 28 strike calls in Palantir. And that's for maybe an S&P announcement coming up or the next earnings. If we do break above this zone, we could send it. And I would think 40 is going to be the next natural spot. If we run into 40 like that, think what just happened to those calls. Vega showed up to party. Everybody's there. That 40 will not be worth more than it is at that moment, so we'll lock in that premium. Because even 40 a couple days from then, assuming we hang out or something, won't be worth as much. So won't exercise it. I'll probably just close it. That's all. What I might end up doing is consider just selling a put after that. Take advantage of some volatility. If it pushes, I can see it panning out. It goes screaming to 40. We lock in those calls. There is an overbought sell-off. It just kind of comes back down. Now that red day, or maybe the next 2 red days, then we'd sell a put. We'll hopefully take advantage, kind of come out smelling like a rose. Now here is Ethereum's new trust. So what we're gonna have to do is zone this out on a much smaller time frame. So there's a zone right here. Gonna be a hard time getting above that. We're gonna have to draw that out as a zone, and then one more down here. And you're probably thinking, how come you've never zoned anything out on the 5-minute chart before? It's because it's worthless and doesn't actually mean anything. I'm gonna delete all these. With 1 day of price action, who knows? Who knows where the buyers are at? Who knows where the sellers are at? Where the inflows are at? It kind of just hung out all day. What did Ethereum do? Hang out. I wonder how many people I just offended. My guru zones stuff out on a 10-minute chart all the time. Well, he's wrong. Just kidding. Please don't cry at night. I don't know. I gotta say, I think I'm just bullish the crypto space. Bitcoin and Ethereum are my top 2. It's just like every time something happens politically, it's like Kamala's gonna speak something at a Bitcoin summit. Trump's gonna make Bitcoin something. It's like they're just relating it to crypto a lot. Okay, Tally. So what I like right now in the crypto space is just the volatility that it could bring, because people are panicking and then all of a sudden crypto goes up. So I've noticed that the past few days, like When we started talking about Trump, crypto started getting a buy. Like, all right, so that's why I don't like to buy things as it hits the zone from the bottom. But I can kind of build a case, or I'm starting to see maybe it might not be a bad time to buy. That's a zone regardless. You can already see on Bitcoin it already even rejected a little bit, but we might just be continuing. Ethereum and Bitcoin, do you like to buy them? Do I like to buy? I just do it automatically. My guru uses the 8-minute chart. Lisa, are you here? Go ahead and just say you're here so I can answer how I buy this, how I buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. I know you asked that earlier in the chat, and I'll answer it again. Oh, you're here. Okay, so for everyone, you've probably heard this 6,000 or 7,000 times. TikTok, you might not have. So I buy Bitcoin and Ethereum every week. $200. $200 worth of Bitcoin, $200 worth of Ethereum, and here's the kicker, $200 goes into my savings account. So that's automatic. I don't have to touch it. And when it sells, so I buy it up or down. Red candle, bought it. Green candle, bought it. Doesn't matter. When it sells off and gets to like certain levels that I like, for instance, this bright yellow box, 51, that's where I take the savings account, dump it in, and buy a whole bunch more. So the automatic never gets touched. The savings account is just building up that dry powder for when we do get a crypto crash or something, and I get to buy more. Let's see. Oh, Don, I hate repeating myself. Also, Don repeating himself nightly. I was surprised to see Lisa asked that. I felt like I've said that a lot. Who says I'm getting concerned about Lisa? What are my thoughts on Shiba? Oh God, here's where I'm gonna offend some people. Just not a chance. Shiba, let's pull it up. Isn't it on Coinbase? Yeah, here we go. So it's gotten cheaper. It's just probably gonna bleed. See, I'm gonna say it's gonna bleed out to here, and then something stupid's gonna happen. It's gonna pop up. The chances of you getting rich probably not gonna happen. Are you holding it because you were convinced and bought it back here and been bag holding ever since? It sucks. I would rather just learn that lesson sooner than later, maybe not repeat it or linger it on any further, and just cut ties with it, or at least come up with a plan. Most people that ask about Shiba just never had a plan in the first place. They think it's going to go to a ridiculous number. I've heard $1 before. Like, if it just goes to $1, like, all right, you're a millionaire off of buying $20 worth. Yeah, it would be very impressive. But it's probably just going to keep going down. A rising tide raises all ships. So if Bitcoin goes up, surely Shiba is going to go up, right? And Dogecoin. And here's Shiba just kind of selling off. And then here's Bitcoin. Not. Not to be that blunt, I just don't know if it's worth anyone's time. Hopefully that didn't make you mad, Jacob. I should think about my responses before I do that, but I don't know. It's also like a nice little filter. It keeps the it does keep the weenies out, you know? People are just going to cry a lot. Tesla Bull, this is a 2x share, so you add it on. Yeah, if I wanted something, it's a cheaper version of Tesla, but it just still has that leverage aspect. So this I would treat something more like, if I just want leverage but I don't want options, this is the one I would go. Hey Don, can you give us some valuable financial advice? Like, I feel like you're trying to get me in trouble with the SEC. It does still decay naturally with the ups and downs. Not near what Theta would do to an options contract, though. It's not a real dog. I just wanted to start somewhere, and that was the one he chose. Okay, perfect. Then, honestly, chalk it up to beginner lessons and move on. I mean, looking at the chart of Shiba, what about that makes you think that's where you need your money? What about that makes you think it's going to turn right now? If you ever say it's not a loss till you lock it in, it's because I know you don't know what you're talking about. It's a loss regardless. Whether you locked it in or not, You might not have to turn it into your accountant yet, but it's a loss. So you have your money in that. You can put your money in something else. Which one do you think is better off? Steve, I'm back to your question. Can you give us some valuable financial advice? I feel like those are keywords to get the SEC in here. That's called the stupid tax, according to Dave Ramsey. Yeah. People in the stock world call it tuition. Sure, don't get carried away with it. You don't want to pay a bunch of money. But yeah, you make mistakes. It happens. In LABD on the zone on XBI. All right, I know what zone you're talking about. Should be right. Hang on, I'm going to blue zone it up. Right there. All right, LABD. As of right now, it looks like that's probably going to pan out with the way the markets are looking. How's it looking after hours? Up a little bit. Yeah, I bet that's going to pay out. Wouldn't be a bad hedge. I'm still bullish, but if things do head south, I bet that one would be all right. Look to buy on bearish days. Look to sell on bullish days. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what else you're struggling with. Please come back. Please come back and continue watching. Let's see. The SPY calls me cooked. Yeah, tagged out 2 of your 3 U.S. dollar Japanese yen positions. I'd hang tight. Hang tight on that because, yeah, you're good. Where I'm going to be tempted is as it enters this zone right here. Is it going to be like another lower high? Hang on. Cody, I just saw that. He's not talking about C3 AI. Okay, he's talking about something else. That's Tesla's AI. Okay, XAI. Okay. Never mind. Okay. I want to add back into the US dollar Japanese yen. We're flirting with now, like, you could probably get a better entry. When it comes to Forex, when it trends. So there's times, and I've done this a lot, even I could have got a much better entry. And I want to say that I wasn't patient. It was just like, I don't really care if it goes up any higher. I think it's going to go much lower. My stop's going to be way up here regardless. So there's times I probably went short right here, knowing I probably could have gone short right here. I think I would wait till we at least hit this zone. Where do I put stops in this kind of stuff? Because this plays a little bit unique. Any other time, my stop would be right above this zone. Because I'm going to be on the weekly time frame, it's going to be up there. So I could put a stop way up there. Yeah. Yeah, Forex moves. It's not as bad as futures overnight, but just imagine that. If you try jacking around with Forex on a smaller time frame, it's going to be like trading an IWM contract overnight. You're going to put your stop order out there, and it's just going to be laughed at as they swipe it right off the table. Have a good one, Lisa. Meta, my 502.50 sold call should be near worthless in the morning. I will need to set a stop loss on the long call since it's at least up. Microsoft, Google calls, both still cooked. Those will be. Meta should be cranking. I think I would buy that call back to close and see if it bounces first. The Meta call was doing well today, I bet. Glow Life says, what time frame is that? Probably on the 4-hour or the daily, depending on when you actually posted that. Most of the time I do spend on the 4-hour daily. Buy the red if you want bread. Big man, where do you hear these lines? And if you're laughing when I talk back at you, then we're going to be good friends. Hopefully I'm not actually hurting your feelings. But I could take most of these lines out of context. Explain why someone would be in big trouble doing that. Hope we get a leg down. Home Depot, you're in the 350 covered call. So far the sellers are doing a good job. It's below that zone, but I would be worried about this. It just wicking back up, gaps up in the morning, and that's going to be it. I know this is a blue zone, but this might be kind of a make it or break it zone for you. Like if we get just a little bit lower, I think you're going to be all right, and then your 350s are going to be okay after that run up. You'll at least be in a management mode where you can roll it. It's going to be close. You're cutting it down to the wire. I guess with this price action, you're going to roll regardless. If not, I'll roll it up. Yeah. I think I would give this a couple more days and see if we don't break that thing down a bit further. Because then what I would do is, if that call does become your sold call, that becomes green, I would buy it back to close it and not sell another one just yet until it does get that reversal and push up, then open your next one. Clorox. Clorox looks like one of those 3 brain cell trades. If it breaks 131, it's probably headed on down to 124. You're in the 130 December call? Well, then you want that to break probably. Right now, that does look pretty horizontal, though. We're right in the middle of that. What do I think of TSM? Let's check out the chips here in a second. Hood 25 call for this Friday. Oh, you're fine. Why haven't you bought that back yet? That has to be worth nothing. The 25 covered call for this Friday, that's got to be toast. What I would not want is a gap and go day like this just to ruin it. We get another gap and go like that. We had a gap and go from down here. That happens again from up here. You're gonna put yourself right into management mode. Tomorrow the thing has to be close to worthless. I'd buy that one back. We're too close to this trend line. We're too close to. We might just find some buyers and go up off of something stupid. And I like stupidity when I'm not in a covered call. SoFi sold the 7. I don't know. I think the SoFi is going to. I have a feeling the SoFi is not going to stick. All the bulls are going to tell you this thing's ready to explode. That's a bull flag. Until it breaks that zone, technically it is. If it breaks 725, I bet we're right on down here. Robinhood 24-hour on LABD. My phone's on TikTok right now, so I don't know, but I want to say it is. I thought it was. Am I going to do a 6-month review on how everyone is doing on that 12-month challenge? Hypothetical portfolio that we did at the beginning of the year. Oh, the one on the Moo app? I totally forgot about it. Is it up? We put Tesla in there, didn't we? We put Tesla, Palantir in there. Oh, we're killing it. Oh, you're talking about the YouTube video where everyone posted their best plays? I probably will have to. I'm glad you reminded me of that because I 100% forgot. And did I not say there's going to be a YouTube giveaway? If you are on TikTok, when I do giveaways, we're about to do one because it needs to be done. I give away the monthly revenue, the ad revenue from YouTube. That's the giveaway. So whatever it is, that's the prize. So the more you view it, the more you share it, the more it pays, the more you win. There are a lot of giveaways I got to do. Yeah. I can't believe it's already almost the end of July. Yeah, you promised a Cybertruck, I think. I said I would buy a Tesla at 100,000 subscribers. There'll be a Tesla giveaway. But I gotta get to 100,000 subscribers first. I don't know. So Elon did a tweet. Should Tesla invest $5 billion into XAI, assuming the valuation is set by several credible outside investors? It probably should, but I can tell you guys right now that's that's going to push this down. No one wants $5 billion just coming off the balance sheet like that, especially if you think we're coming into a recession next year. It's going to be a dip buy for Tesla, but I think they're doubling down on. I almost called it Dojo. All right. I guess I'm going to wrap it up here. I got a couple more videos to record. I'm trying to think what else to do if I have any other videos coming out tonight. So Nvidia chips to XAI and then get Tesla to invest in it. I think I do have a couple more videos coming. There's a couple more videos I have recorded. I need to schedule them when they're coming out. Again, I'm recording a bunch of shorts, and I'm trying to jack around with the YouTube algorithm since you guys don't like to share the content and help me out. So I got to do the whole timing thing and plan it out. But yeah, so I am recording a lot of the popular questions. I got to finish up calls and puts, what we're going to do with the Nvidia call, all of that to kind of get everybody caught up, because those are being posted on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll see you beautiful. Well, YouTube. I'm going to wrap it up here. Mentorship, you will see me bright and early in the morning.